Hello everybody, you're watching CPCN. Chris Pritchard Cycling News. Transition. We've got a lot to cover in today's show. We're going to be covering Chris Froome's massive crash, the fact that he's going to be out of the Tour de France and he has suffered some serious injuries. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. And also the fallout from Esther Meisel's Instagram post that we covered a few weeks ago. That team's about to implode by the looks of it, so we'll get to all that later. But first, let's cover some of the short stories that are making the headlines here today on CPCN. First up, Juan Jose Cobo has been stripped of his 2011 Vuelta after abnormalities in his biological passport have been found. I don't know how it's taken him that long to actually work that out. I always thought the point of a biological passport was to keep an eye on numbers, and as soon as you see an abnormality, then the ban or suspension or the time away from the sport comes into play. But 8 years later, they're only just finding that out. What the hell's going on there? I mean, the guy's retired. Do you think he really gives a crap right now? Hey, Juan, yeah? Hey, you see the news? You got caught for doping. Yeah, no, senor, I did not see. What is the case? I don't know. Blood doping. Oh, yeah, bad, eh? Yeah. Adios. Interestingly though, this result might affect the whole landscape of the British cycling scene, because now, instead of Bradley Wiggins being the first ever Brit to win a Grand Tour, if they retrospectively give it to Froome, then he goes into the lead as being the first ever British rider to win a Grand Tour. I don't think he'll care right now, he's got other fish to fry, but still, potentially he could be the winner of another Grand Tour, which will make it 7 in total, I believe. So next up is a story that I was so excited about and then all of a sudden wasn't. So when we make the new show, Jesper and the boys over in the office will send me links to stories that we might be interested in posting up on this new show. Sent a link and the headline was "Cyclist gets blown off while riding." I'm like, this is my kind of story. This is the type of journalism I want to get into. I have my Kleenex, I have my lube. Unbelievable. Let me ask you a question. Should you be able to finish a cycling road race without a bike? Well, that's exactly what American rider Eamon Lucas did at a recent Belgium Kermesse. He came down in the home straight, ditched his bike and just decided to go running. But it begs the question, the UCI stipulate that a rider needs to cross the line with their bike, but they allowed the result to stand, I guess because they felt sorry for him. Because he looked a bit of a plank running down the road. But fair play to him for committing to it and finishing the race. Did get a top 10 result actually, so fair play. Zwift news now. Zwift have teamed up with SRAM to bring a brand new series to Zwifters. It's called the SRAM Send It series. I know you've never heard of it. It's fine. If you're in Australia, you might have heard of it. But anywhere in Europe, you won't have heard of it because it seems to be aimed at the Australian market, because obviously they're in their winter time now. From what I can gather, you need to be part of the Australian National Road Series to be able to enter this event, but that doesn't stop other riders entering the actual event, but they won't be considered for the SRAM Send It overall results. Rumour has it there's an $800 first prize up for grabs for the first person in the series overall, so that's pretty interesting. But it's just weird that, one, there's a big sponsor pushing a big race series that no one's heard of. Two, when you look at the results of it, there's actually more Europeans and Americans in the race than Australians. And three, I could not tell you who won the first round of the SRAM Send It series. So, I mean, it's amazing that you've got a big sponsor like that promoting a series, but I have no idea what's going on. But stay tuned. There may be some more news on that next week. Staying with indoor training news, and Vertigo have just announced that they're adding ghosts into their training platform. By the looks of it, what you're going to be able to do is set that ghost at a specific pace that you can follow. So if you're heading up a climb or you want to try and beat a PB of a previous ride, you can download that ghost onto your current training session, follow that ghost and ultimately try and beat it, or at least be able to pace yourself a hell of a lot better. There's also talks of being able to download other people's ghosts onto your training platform so you can actually compete against other people when they're not even there. And finally, for any of those cyclists that have ever been to Mallorca or thought about going to Mallorca, well, for £26 million, you can own Michael Douglas's Mallorca mansion. I'll be honest with you, after reading the story, it looks like he might be in a bit of financial difficulty. So I say we all put together, we all stick a quid in. I'll speak to Jeffers. I know he's got millions. He's like sat on so much money at the minute with his Patreon. He literally doesn't know what to do with the money. He gets so much, he says. But if we can all come together and, I don't know, put like a quid in or a couple of quid here and there, we'll see if we can we'll barter him down. I reckon we can get that for easy £1 million. I'll say, hey, Dougie, got a deal for you, mate. Me and the boys, we've been having a think. Here's £1 million. Go on. Off you pop. Remember a few weeks ago I mentioned a story about Esther Meisels who'd taken to Instagram and mentioned that she was leaving Healthmate ladies team due to inappropriate behaviour by their team manager. Well, it appears that this story is starting to snowball even more. 2 other ladies have come forward confirming exactly the same story that Esther had mentioned. After she'd posted the Instagram post, she got in touch with Cycling News and said the following: I've experienced 2 things, abusive treatment and inappropriate behaviour that were specific to me. Although he can be inappropriate with everyone, I had it much more severe. And then she says there was this race where he put my name on the roster working on his computer and he said, come and see. I put your name on the roster, now give me a kiss. After this story broke on Cycling News, ex-professional Liz Hatch, who actually rode under Patrick Van Gansen over 6 years ago, took to Twitter and said this: reading this article makes me sick to my stomach. 6 years ago, I had the unfortunate opportunity to experience Mr. Van Gansen's tactics personally while racing for his team, and I can vouch for the validity of Esther Meisels' claims. Please get lost, Van Gansen. And subsequently, 2 more riders from the team have come forward. Sarah Mustonen and Chloe Tublin have both come forward. All 3 riders have lodged complaints with the ethics committee at the UCI, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here. However, the story doesn't quite end there, because Tara Gins, another rider who rode under Patrick Van Gansen, and 4 other anonymous riders have all penned an open letter, and this is what it says. Racing with the Healthmate Cycle Live team was a great experience. All riders got along well, and it really felt like a second family. It was nice to be part of this, and we are grateful for the opportunity we have been given. However, we all agree that Mr. Van Gansen made many sexual and inappropriate comments during the time we were part of the team. He often raised his voice and became verbally aggressive to the point that riders felt uncomfortable and frightened. We have all witnessed verbal aggression towards other riders. Patrick Van Gansen has obviously denied all these allegations, and there's been little noise coming out from the current team at the minute as to whether they're backing him or not, apart from this post that was posted on Facebook, which said, it hurts to read the articles about our team manager. I am completely satisfied within the team, and I've never experienced the things they say in the newspaper. Patrick helps us live the dream and achieve the goals. The team, including me, keep on fighting and focusing on the upcoming races. I guess one of the things that worries me is how many riders are on that team currently that have either seen this type of behaviour or actually received this type of behaviour, but are too afraid to actually talk about it because they're afraid that they might lose their position on the team, or it might affect their career later down the line. Hopefully, now that a few riders have come forward, that this man can be swiftly removed from this team. Someone can be brought in who doesn't act this way, who respects the women for what they are and what they're trying to achieve, and allows them to do that without fear and without intimidation. And hopefully these riders that are on the team currently will be free to be able to say what they need to say about this. Because you can't help thinking that while ever he's in charge of the team, while ever they're riding for the team, that there could be that thought in their heads that they're just going to keep quiet, keep their head down, keep riding and wait for it all to blow over. But really, they might have the information that could expose this guy for exactly what he is. So the story's definitely not over. More and more women are coming forward, and I think it's only a good thing that they are coming forward. And I think the sooner they all come forward with evidence, with information, then the sooner that can be sorted, and these riders can ride without fear, without intimidation, and can just, succeed and take the next step to the professional peloton. And I guess the biggest cycling news story of the week is obviously Chris Froome suffering a massive crash during stage 4's recon at the Criterium Dauphine. He was heading down a descent, probably 60 to 65k, people are saying, and he took his hands off the handlebars to clear his nose, and as he did so, a massive gust of wind hit the bike. So you can't help thinking he's got a rear disc wheel in, he's probably got a deep section front wheel in the front as well. The gust of wind just took the bike from under him. He's got one hand on the tri-bars. He's not going to save that. Ends up going off at a trajectory, hitting a brick wall head on and suffering some serious injuries. The injury list so far is a broken elbow, fractured femur, and also broken ribs, as well as some internal injuries. And as I'm filming this, a statement has been released from Ineos saying this. First things first, the surgery was a success. The operation, which lasted for 6 hours, went very well. Chris woke up this morning and was reviewed by the intensive care consultants and the orthopaedic specialists who operated on him, and they are both very happy with his progress to date. Chris will remain in hospital for the next few days for observation, but he's already actively engaging in discussing his rehabilitation options, which is very encouraging. As he begins his road to recovery, the team will now only be providing further updates at stage where it is necessary to do so. So could this be the end of Chris Froome's career? He's 34 years old now. It's going to take him, I don't know, the rest of the year to get back to any sort of, I guess, normal fitness and full mobility in that leg. What are going to be the after effects of actually crashing like that? Is that going to hurt him mentally as well as physically like it did? Are we going to see Froome ever back to his best? I don't know. Could this be potentially the end of his career? Because, you know, with all due respect, he's only got a couple more years left of peak in his career, probably 36. You're going to start seeing that form and that fitness starting to dwindle just a little bit. So, I don't know. Let's hope it's not the end of his career. If he's doing this at 22, 23, 24, you know that the rider's going to come back and probably just be as strong at the age of 30 as he would if he never actually received that injury. But at 34, you can't help thinking that, yeah, it could be a career-threatening injury that is received. The outpouring of messages for Froome across all social media has been unbelievable, and to see the amount of support that he's receiving, it kind of fills your heart with warmth. That a lot of people, you know, they have their own opinion of Team Ineos and Team Sky. They have their opinion of Froome, but when something happens like this, everything gets forgotten, and it's all about actually who gives a shit about cycling, who gives a about the sport. It's about this guy and getting him better and hopefully making a full recovery. So it's been amazing to see the amount of support and the amount of love for Froome, and hopefully that will continue as he continues on his road to recovery. So I guess from everyone at CyclingHub, not that you will ever watch this, Mr. Froome, but good luck, get well soon, man, and hopefully we will see you back at the Tour soon. Now we've got the serious part of this show out of the way. Let's head to the comments and see what stupid stuff you lot have been saying this week. And the news broke on Wednesday that the Gruppetto podcast is no longer going to be available visually, only audibly. And Mike took to the comment section to post this. With the new podcast format, we won't be able to see Cam's tears. We'll only be able to hear him whimpering. I like Dan's comment here. Excellent intro. Thank you. That guy who I presume he means like critiqued. The guy who critiqued your studio office last week, still making me laugh. It's an office. It's not a Spielberg set, is it? Exactly right. It's a bloody office. And you know what? Every time I have to film one of these things, see this here, this table, I have to move it from there, that's got all my table and office set up on it. I have to move it into this position, heighten it, lift the height up, film, and then put it back there so I can edit the video. The shit ain't easy, you know. Tom said, came for the Zwift tips, but stayed for the cam baiting. Matt Parsons, that intro, I've never liked a video within the first 10 seconds before, but that is beyond quality. Dying, gonna rewatch it so many times. Your bird feeder's a proper bow. Love that cam burn, solid burn on Jeffers. Still wouldn't buy Wahoo stuff, but ripping the piss, off to a fantastic start. Now you need to incorporate your daily free loot. Talking of which, if you want to be part of a competition, to win this mug, All you have to do is send across to my PayPal the sum of £5. That'll enter you into the draw. From there, I will draw 10 names out of the hat. If they are your name, what you have to do then is head over to PayPal and put £20 in my account. From there, I will draw one person who will win their £20 back as well as the mug. Okay? So if you want to do that, the competition starts now. You can enter by sending me money on PayPal. I'll probably not draw it for another like 3 months, potentially 4 months, but I will one day when I've spent all your cash. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below. Let me know about any of the stories we've covered today. Was it the Froome dog? Was it the healthmate abuse claims that's going off? Was it any of those other stories? I can't remember any of them. I've been filming this for the last 3 hours. I cannot remember a goddamn thing about this show. But anyway, roll titles.